So if you guys remember, a while back, John Boehner said that he's going to sue President Obama. Now, when asked at the time over what, his response was, let me get back to you. So he didn't really have a reason. He just wanted to rile up the base and throw some red meat out there, so he sued. Well, now he has a reason. Talking Points memo explains, quote, the lawsuit targets Obama's unilateral delay of the employer mandate and alleged illegal transfers of funds to insurance companies under Obamacare. Now, understand the lawsuit is so baseless that two attorneys backed out. So they originally said, okay, we'll take up the case and we'll partake in this. And then they looked at the merits of the lawsuit and they said, I can't partake in this. This is crazy. This doesn't make any sense. They backed out. Now, finally, an attorney did step forward and they said they'd take the case. And also, let's think about this irony for a second. The lawsuit is basically over Obamacare being implemented too slow. I thought that you guys hated the law and you didn't want it to be implemented in any way. But as long as it's politically convenient and they can slam the president and try to derail the president and sue the president, now all of a sudden they care deeply about implementing Obamacare exactly on time, every single provision. Again, the lawsuit it says we're mad that he unilaterally delayed the employer mandate. So Obama was being kind to businesses and tweaking the law to give them more time to coincide with the provisions and get all their ducks in a row. And Boehner's like, no, we want it implemented right now. So will this get anywhere? I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. Quote, in 1946, legislators passed the Administrative Procedures Act, which governs the way that regulatory agencies carry out legislation. That law both gives agencies discretion in setting up laws, but holds them accountable for carrying out Congress's intentions. So understand what that means. It's very simple. It means that you can tweak laws as long as you eventually and inevitably do what the law says you're supposed to do. So in this particular case with Obamacare, it's about the employer mandate. As long as you eventually get the employer mandate in place, then it's fine. You can take your time and tweak it accordingly. And the reason for that law in 1946 was very straightforward. They were concerned about getting everything right. You can't foresee every speed bump that comes up when dealing with legislation in a country. I mean, it's very complex and complicated and nuanced sometimes dealing with different laws. So sometimes it takes time and you got to change things in certain ways, and to just do this one-size-fits-all, we're going to implement it here and now, and if anything goes wrong, it doesn't matter. You have to get it done by September 1st or whatever it is. No, we understand that we live in the real world, so that's why this was passed. And of course, the Obama administration is going to argue, I don't know what they're even suing about. Look at this. I mean, we just need a little more time to get it right, that's all, and that's perfectly within the law. And then also, there's precedent on this too. Washington Post explains, quote, on a number of prior occasions across administrations, this authority has been used to postpone the application of new legislation when the immediate application would have subjected taxpayers to unreasonable administrative burdens or costs. So there you have it again. There's precedent for this. This has happened with previous administrations where they said, okay, we can't implement this right now in the way that we said, so give us some time and we'll get it right. This lawsuit is total BS. And also, there's no hard justification for it. There's no grounds for the lawsuit in the sense that if somebody brings a lawsuit, they have to show specifically, here's how I was affected negatively by said law, or here's the situation that happened and I'm the victim. You have to do that when you go to court. And what a lot of articles are saying is this lawsuit doesn't even pass that standard, which is the first standard you need to meet in order to even get to court. Which, by the way, that's why the two other attorneys were like, okay, we can't even take this case. And the reason is they were like, well, what's your complaint, House Republicans? They're like, something, ideology, the way the law is this and that, da-da-da-da-da. They're like, no, you have to show us what went wrong, how are you a victim specifically? It has to be an incident that happened and you're the victim and there was a problem with it and it happened in real life empirically to you. And they're like, no, this isn't really about that. It's about this idea about the law being like this way or that way. They're like, it's not enough to sue. You can't just sue based off that. So I don't think this is going anywhere. Now, unfortunately, there is another law, or another case, I should say, which is threatening Obamacare at the moment. We spoke about that before. It's a case that got to the Supreme Court over the wording of the act and about who can give out the subsidies, the state government versus the federal government. That one is going to the Supreme Court, and we will have to hold our breath for that one because they may end up dealing a fatal blow to Obamacare with that case. But in terms of this case, this is all a dog and pony show. This is all kabuki theater. I think a lot of people who are cheering on the lawsuit, a lot of the Republicans, they know it's going to fail. They're just doing this for political brownie points from their base.